Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Shahrzad Narabi. I'm a business psychologist and I work with companies to create really engaging workplace cultures where people not only want to stay, but they want to give their all. They have a sense of commitment to the organization and a sense of ownership, and that only can come by design. Over the years, as I gave talks to CEO groups, one of the questions that I would hear would be, can you tell me what to do? And that's such a great ask because culture is not one-dimensional. There are many parts to it, and I thought, how can I break it down to something that is easy to understand and easy to implement for bright, busy executives? So I wrote A Powerful Culture Starts With You. I share 3 models in this book. The first is Watch It, and that is a model to look at your culture with a fresh set of eyes. The second model is Drive It. That is a coaching model. And the third model that I'll be talking about today is Walk It, about how a senior team can get aligned and ensure that they are driving the organization in the same direction as a team and creating engagement and commitment. I believe working on your company culture starts from the top. I recently spoke with someone who was telling me that his senior team has a dynamic that they are free to debate, to talk about ideas, and to even tell each other, I don't really love that idea. And they'll be very straightforward with one another. And someone from the outside may see this and think, wow, that's an interesting dynamic. But what this person told me is they have all gotten to know each other really well over time, and they have built a relationship where they could be so honest with one another and listen and show respect and then go out to lunch. That is such a great way to be able to be honest with one another, but this does not come easy. I created the Walk It model as a tool for people on the senior team to be able to review it and ask themselves, are we walking these steps? As you'll see in a lot of my videos, I have acronyms that are created to be memorable and to be able to check back and ask yourself, are we walking the talk? This is a model to ensure senior team alignment. Why does senior team alignment matter? Because when you are aligned, you are having the honest conversations, you're looking at the culture together, you're seeking input, and you are creating a plan that you follow together. And what's the opposite of that? What I hear in culture assessments when I ask members of the senior team, what's going well, what can be better, one of the things that come up a lot is we can't really speak our truth. And people will nod in the meetings, and then afterward, you know, that conversation you have with your friend on the team that you both shake your heads and think, well, what are we gonna do? And when you create an aligned team, it's having those real conversations and then not having those conversations after where you're complaining and wishing it were different. When your teams are aligned, each of you who are working in a particular cross-functional area is communicating, and your reports are communicating with one another and gaining success together. When 2 members of the senior team are not getting along, their reports won't get along. And it's something all too common. I'm sure many of you have seen it before. So I want to take some time today and share the Walk It model, and everything I share is found on apowerfulculture.com. That's the website that I created for A Powerful Culture Starts With You, and the tools that I'll be talking about for the Walk It model can be found there. You sign up for it, you'll get an email, you click yes to show that you're not a bot, and then you get another email and you could download everything that you want. So let's get started. Walking the talk is the first step. It is also the hardest step. When you decide you want to take on a new initiative or do something different, everyone will be watching you. And that is because they want to see the leaders who are coming up with these new ways of being walk the talk and show that it's really important. It sounds obvious, doesn't it? But it's not. There are often pressures that make it difficult to walk the talk, and yet it's the most important thing to do. So for example, if you say to your company, if you say to your employees, we need to have respectful communication, there are no excuses for speaking rudely to one another. And then let's say one of your leaders in a meeting speaks rudely to someone else and you just sit there. That's not walking the talk. It's allowing the negative behaviors that you said you didn't want to persist in the organization. It's disengaging, and it makes employees think, where else is my leader not walking the talk? Walking the talk is about having boundaries and living to your values. I had a client who was having a hard time with that situation where he had a high performer who was not living to the values, and he had to take some time to really think about what those values meant to him. What did they really mean to him? And with some reflection, he realized that for the long term, promoting the right behaviors was more important than having someone who was creating revenue for the organization in the short term. And fortunately, in that situation, he was able to get a coach for that leader and coach him up. So that was a win, but it's not always the case. So 3 questions you can ask yourself: where can I walk the talk? How can I make sure I'm walking the talk? And who can I ask for feedback on if I'm walking the talk? If you start thinking of things in the long term and thinking about what you do want versus what you don't want, that's a powerful first step. And last, make sure you are defining your values. And I talk about values in another video where I share how you can review your values, make sure that they are still relevant, because they should be refreshed every few years as your company and industry and society evolve. And when you are clear on them, it's so much easier to hold yourself and others to them. And you'll see in the Walk the Talk checklist that there are questions that you and your senior leaders can fill out around: are you seeking feedback from one another? Are you holding each other accountable? Do you see each other walking the talk? These are simple questions with yes/no responses, and this is another tool to help you see if you as a senior team are walking the talk together. Here's to you creating a powerful senior team. A powerful culture starts with you. If what I've shared with you today resonates with you, please feel free to hit subscribe. Please feel free to read A Powerful Culture Starts With You or listen to it. It's on Audibles and in my voice. And last, please feel free to reach out and we can have a conversation.